Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to solve different types of linear equations. So let's begin with some examples. In this first example, we have our variable is going to be a plus 5 equal to 33. Now the key here is to do a series of steps so we can manage to have the variable alone. Okay, so we have only a here equal to some value. Okay, so what do? We analyze every operation that we have with that variable and do the opposite. So we have here an a plus 5, so it's being added 5. So what's the opposite of adding 5? Exactly, subtracting 5. Okay, so what am I going to do with that process? I'm going to subtract 5. But if I decide to subtract 5 on the left side, I also have to do that on the right side. So I'm going to subtract 5 here too. And observe what happens. 5 minus 5 is 0. So a added 0, any number added to 0 is the same number. So we're going to reach our goal, that is to have the variable alone. Okay, so 33 minus 5, we just finished simplifying that, and we have that a is going to be equal to 28. And here we have the solution for this equation. Now for this example, our unknown is represented by the letter b. And what do I need to do to have only b on the left side of the equation? We observe that b is divided by 36. But what is the opposite of dividing by 36? It's going to multiply by 36. So I'm going to multiply 36 here, but if I do this on the left side, I also need to do it on the right side. So what happens? In the left side, 36 divided by 36 is equal to 1, which is what I want because I wanted b to be alone. And then I simplify here, which I can simplify between 9 and 36. I can divide by 9, which is this is going to be 4. And 4 multiplied by 4, which this is going to be 16. And here we have the solution for this equation. When we have equations where the variable is multiplied by a fraction, my advice is going to be, my recommendation is going to be multiply by the reciprocal. It's going to be the easiest way to have the variable alone. So for here, we have the k is multiplied by 4 over 5. So it's a fraction. So if I decide to multiply by the reciprocal, which is going to be 5 over 4, observe what happens. Now, if I multiply by 5 over 4 here, I have to do the same thing, you got to write, on the left side. So I simplify here, where we have 4 times 5 is 20, divided by 20, and 20 by 20 is 1. So I reach my goal, by having k alone. Also, you can cancel out 4 divided by 4, which is 1, and 5 divided by 5 is 1. So I reach my goal, I have k alone. Now, I can simplify here a little bit. Between 8 and 4, I can divide. 8 divided by 4, which is 2. And I can proceed to multiply, which is going to be 5 times 2, which is 10. And 10 divided by 1 times 9, which is 9. And here we have the value of k for this equation. In this equation, we need to solve for d. So let's observe what do we have on the left side of the equation. We have that d is added 1, and the whole expression is divided by negative 2. So first I have to deal with the negative 2 here. Now, negative 2, this expression is divided by negative 2. So what is the opposite of dividing negative 2? Multiplying by negative 2. Now, if I multiply by negative 2 here, I need to multiply by negative 2 here. Okay, so I have the advantage that this is going to cancel out. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1. So I'm left with d plus 1. And on the right side, I can continue solving, which is going to be negative 30. And last but not least, this is added 1. What is the opposite of adding 1? Subtracting 1. So I'm going to subtract 1, but everything that I do on the left side, I need to do it on the right side. So this is 1 minus 1, which is 0, goes out. And d is going to be equal to negative 30 minus 1, which is going to be negative 31. And there we go for this equation. In the cases where we have variables in both sides of the equation, what do? We group them. Okay, so we have terms here with the variable h, and we have constant here. Okay, so I'm going to decide that everything that has h is going to be on the left side, and every constant is going to be on the right side. It doesn't have to be that way. You can choose the other way around. Me, I like the variables on the left side, so that's what I'm going to do. Now, for this guy to be here, what I need to do? This is a plus, okay, plus 3h. So it's added. What's the opposite of adding 3h? We're going to subtract 3h. Now, if I decide to subtract 3h here, I need to subtract 3h here too. So what do we have on the left side? We have 2 and 5h minus 3h, which is going to be 2h. And on the right side, we observe that this is going to cancel out. 3h minus 3h, which is 0. So I'm left with negative 6 and continue the process of solving for h. So we have a plus 2 here. So the opposite of adding 2 is subtracting 2. So I'm going to subtract 2 on both sides of the equation. So this is going to cancel out. I have 2h. And on the right side, I have a negative 8. And minus 6 minus 2, which is going to be negative 8. Now, I'm left with this 2 here, which is multiplied. When I have a number and a variable together with no other expression here, no other operation here, so I can know that this is multiplied. So what is the opposite of multiplying by 2? We're going to divide by 2. But if I divide by 2 on the left side, then I divide by 2 on the right side. So on the left side, this cancels out. So I have an h. And negative 8 divided by 2, which is going to be negative 4, and we have the solution for this equation. Now, what do we do when we have parentheses? We just apply the distributive property. We're multiplying the expression that we have on the outside with each term that is inside of the parentheses. So on the left side here, I'm going to multiply 7 by n and by negative 1, and the same thing on the right side. I'm going to multiply negative 2 times 3 and times n. So what do we get? We get here 7n minus 7. And on the right side, we're going to have here minus 6 minus negative times positive is going to be negative minus 2n. Okay, so similar process as before. I'm going to group the similar terms. Okay, so we have 7n minus 2n. I want this guy on the left side. I'm going to choose to have all the terms that have n on the left side. So I need to add 2n. So I'm going to add 2n here, but if I decide to add 2n here, I need to do this here too. On the left side, what do we have? We have similar terms. So this is going to be 9n minus 7. And on the right side, this cancels out. So I have a negative c here. And continue solving for n. So I'm going to add 7. Let's add 7 here. So we cancel the 7 here. It's going to be 0. And 9n plus 0, which is 9n, and minus 6 plus 7, which is 1. And last but not least, is multiplied by 9. So what is the opposite of multiplying by 9? We divide by 9, of course. So we divide by 9, and then n is going to be 1 over 9, which is going to be the solution for this equation.